Hobby Quick Hits. Delivering that breaking hobby news directly to your earlobes. You want to know those hot drops from the card shop? We've got you covered. With your host, John Newman.
Welcome to another episode of Hobby Quick Hits. And, full disclosure, I debated doing this topic on today's show. A couple reasons why. It's really the hot topic in the hobby, and sort of everyone and their mothers chimed in on it, done content on it, or given their opinion on it as well. I have, in personal conversation, but I don't think I've really posted anything publicly. So one of the reasons I'm doing the show. The other is, while the topic is not a new phenomenon, if you will, it's became a hot topic because, something that happened on someone I consider a good friend show, and that's Dr. James Beckett, who had Patrick Ryan on, who, shilling, which is, bidding either on your own auction or having someone bid on your own auction to drive the price up. That became a topic of discussion, and both of those gentlemen, sort of condoned, or not, in Patrick Ryan's case, he condoned it. And I was a little surprised by Dr. Jim's take, where he really didn't, and says, kind of justifies it in a way like with defensive. I've heard, and not the first time I've heard that term, but like defensive shill bidding. And if you haven't figured out already, I'm against shill bidding. Now, I'm not going to tell you it's going to go away, or we can completely wipe it out. I'm not that naive, right? But just because something is going to exist, no matter whether we like it or not, doesn't mean we have to like it. And I don't do it, I don't condone it, and I don't partake in it. And I'm going to tackle that on this episode, including some personal stories where I've been asked to do as such, and someone didn't like my answer. So I'll save that for the main part of the show. So that's what we're going to tackle on this episode, and deep dive it a little bit more than I did here in the intro. We're going to go over the new release schedule, some hobby news, and then we'll get to shill bidding.
Okay, now a quick word from our great sponsor, followed by the new product release schedule. Then we'll go around the hobbyverse to tell you all the latest hobby happenings and news. Then we'll tackle today's topic of discussion.
Hi, this is Pat Hughes, Cubs announcer, coming to you from the Sports Card Shop in beautiful New Buffalo, Michigan. The Gocher family has built an incredible place here for collectors to buy, sell, and trade cards and memorabilia. Be sure to stop by and let them show you around. TheSportsCardShop.com, connecting sports, athletes, the hobby, and collectors around the world.
Hi, this is Alan Pinkett, and I'm here to tell you the Gocher family has done it again. They've just opened up the Sport Card Shop in downtown Valparaiso, Indiana, and it is awesome. If you're a collector, you need to check this place out. Tell them Alan sent you and get a free gift on your first visit.
Let's check out this week's Hobby Wax releases. Take it away, Owen.
Hey guys, it's Owen from the Sports Card Shop. Let's go over the week of releases. On the 19th, we have Absolute Football Hobby Blaster, Panini Donruss Football Hobby Factory Set, Panini Mosaic Football Choice, Panini National Treasures Baseball, Super Break Supercharged Series 2 Edition, Topps Dynasty Formula 1 Racing, Upper Deck AEW SP Game Used, and heading to the No, one more on the 19th. We have Upper Deck Black Diamond Hockey. Now going to the 21st, we have Leaf Football Nation Hobby, Leaf Football Nation Jumbo, Yu-Gi-Oh! Legendary 5D Deck. And then going to the 26th, we have Prism Racing, Mosaic No Huddle, National Treasures Collegiate Football, Panini Rookies and Stars Football, and then last but not least, Leaf Metal Woman of Sport. Thanks, guys. Have a good day.
Let's go round the hobbyverse and catch up on this week's hobby news.
And find out. All right. GemRate came out with a new report, and they have listed the most all-time graded cards. Any guesses to what the number one graded card is of all time? All right. Are you guessing? If you said the Rickey Henderson 1980 Topps rookie card, you would be correct. 66,000 of them, at least that can be tracked, have been graded. So if you said Rickey Henderson 1980 Topps, pat yourself on the back. You are correct. All right, Topps Chrome update coming out here in December. We'll have 200 more Major League debut patch cards in the product, with James Wood leading the names on that list. But 199 along with James Wood. And, I know I bang on Topps anytime I can or when I feel like they're, not doing something right or good, and I should say Fanatics probably more than Topps. But the Major League debut patches, and now they're doing them in the other sports as well, is just one of the probably greatest hobby ideas, at least in a long time and potentially ever. So 200 more will be hitting, or at least have a chance to hit the marketplace. We know some things don't see the light of day, at least right away. So, all right, the World Series, right? Not a fan of either team. I'm speaking of myself personally, but a great World Series. Game 7, 2 extra inning games. That Game 7 could have went either way by a hairline. 2 home runs if you watched it. 2 important Dodger home runs, right? The big one to keep the Dodgers alive, Miguel Rojas and Will Smith to win it later on. Those are in a SCP auction. And here's the ironic thing, and those are ongoing right now. So if you want to own one of those or both, head over to SCP auction. But they were caught by a father and son attending the game. One by the father, one by the son. And that family is going to be doing very well financially when these auctions come to a close. So congrats to them. They're going to have some of this. All right, time for some court cases. Justin Cornette, a investor in Collectible, which is now defunct, actually won a judgment against Collectible, and the CEO, Newman, or the proprietor Newman, no relation. He spells it Neumann, and I'm New. But he won a judgment because he wants to know. We all, if you had any funds in that and invested in any of the fractionals, you did get your money that you were due. But Justin Cornette wants to know where the items, right? Where are all the items that investors put their money into? No one seems to know or want to talk. They were at the PWCC vault. Then they went to a New York City kind of showroom. But now no one knows where they are. Are they in Newman's house? No one knows. So Justin Cornette took the company, or the former company, and Newman to court. And actually the judge decided in his favor. So now Newman has to disclose where the items actually are and if they were sold who they were sold to and for how much. If he refuses, the court will appoint somebody to go in there and get that information by any means possible. So, no shortage of court cases, hobby. Speaking of that,
Another one.
here's another one, right? Wildcard suing Panini in court for antitrust violations, and they're alleging that Panini went to and kind of strong armed some of the big wholesale distributors and really tried to just say, hey, if you're like doing business with us, don't do any business with Wildcard. Don't carry their products. Don't distribute those products. So that will go to court as well. Let's talk about an auction item that I talked about during the news segment maybe a couple episodes back. Well, just a really cool item, a 1951 Bowman uncut sheet with 36 cards in it, all the high numbers. And on the edge, the Mickey Mantle rookie, which had a light crease in it, but other than that was actually in pretty good shape. And so it's closed, and it brought $252,000, and from all reports, it's the only one that's in existence. I thought that item would bring, frankly, a little bit more. So you never know. We're seeing sort of, I want to say a market correction, but we're seeing some of these bigger ticket items, if you will, maybe not bringing what they're estimated to bring. I thought this particular item would bring more money, but not that you should scoff at, $250,000. I thought it had a chance to bring more. And one more auction item that's coming to auction that's going to bring a lot of money. It's coming to Leland's. It's actually December 6th. It's the Michael Jordan home preseason debut ticket close to Chicago. Not in the arena. It was a high school gym. Not only the ticket, but the winning bidder will get the program to the game as well. So the winning bidder gets the ticket in the program. The ticket is graded PSA 3. And again, a local Chicago high school hosted the game, and from what we can tell, there's only one surviving ticket to this Chicago area debut for Michael Jordan. We all know Michael Jordan items bring a lot of money. So be interesting to see what this ticket brings once the auction closes. So that's going to wrap up the news segment, and let's continue with the show.
And now, our feature presentation.
All right, let's talk about shill bidding. Let's start by defining it, right? What is it? And this is my definition, but I think most will agree it's accurate, right? Shill bidding is the act of bidding on your own item to drive the price up that will cost someone else more money to acquire. Let's go further, let's expound upon that. It's not just you, right? But I can call my friend up or talk to my friend and give him the link and say, hey, this price isn't where I need it to be at. Bid on it, drive the price up so someone else comes over the top of you and places a higher bid, hopefully, to get me more money. And I get it. It's America. It's free enterprise. You want to listen, I'm a dealer. I want to make the most on my cards as I can while giving people what I hopefully consider a fair price, right? But this is artificially done, right? When we think about an in-person deal, right, maybe I have a card marked for $500. Let's just use round numbers. And someone will come up to the table and say, hey, what's the best you can do? Or say, hey, I can give you $400, right? And then it becomes a negotiation. Now I can't do $400. How about how about $480? No, I can't do that. How about $440? and then maybe it comes down to where somewhere I say like, hey, let's split the difference, 450, meet in the middle. And most of the time that does get it done, those type of negotiations, right? But it's two people. It's on the surface where everyone, the people involved, me and that prospective buyer, everything's out in the open, and very transparent, right? And auctions will never be 100% transparent. But there's no funny business going on, if you will. And I understand, wanting to get the most bang for your buck, or the most bang for your card in this case, or cards. But you got to do it the right way. As someone who's put cards in auction houses, as someone who's put cards on eBay and other selling platforms, I don't ask anyone other than someone who really wants to buy the card to bid on it. I don't bid on my own cards to drive the price up, and it's just not. It's not in my MO, and does that make me better than someone else? I don't know. It's not my place to put that designation on myself. And let's talk about why this became, again, this is not a new thing. Shill bidding's been around for eons, right? Since probably auctions even started, quite frankly, or close to it. Let's talk about what brought this back out into the limelight in the forefront. Again, on Dr. James Beckett's Sports Cards Insights, a great podcast. And Dr. Jim, I consider a friend of mine, and I believe he feels the same about me. But, when you're friends with someone, right, doesn't mean you have to agree with them across the board. Just like a marriage, right? I love my wife, but we don't agree on everything, and that's okay. That's okay. We still love each other, and I still think Dr. Beckett is a hobby icon. On a recent 2 episodes, part 1 and 2, with I guess I'll call him an investor, a dealer, a collector, Patrick Ryan, from Houston, Texas. And Dr. Jim knows him, even before the appearance on the show. He had Patrick Ryan on, and, Patrick Ryan basically got caught, or kind of incriminated himself with, I guess, an Instagram post. I don't go on social media a ton, but, I find out, like a lot of people do, like when stuff breaks, right? I guess he posted a picture of a Jordan card that he had bid on, and the picture gave away that it was his own card in an auction. And, I'll give him this much credit. He didn't deny it, sort of explained why, in his words, it happened, that he didn't realize it, that it was an honest mistake. Dr. Jim, had him on the show. Now, I don't know if Dr. Jim had him on the show because of that incident, or it was planned. I'm assuming it was because of that incident, because it became a heavy point of discussion. On that show, Patrick Ryan divulged that it was an honest mistake, and he didn't know, I think it was a $20,000 bid, and he didn't know it was his own item that he was bidding on. Now, only Patrick Ryan knows for sure whether he's telling the truth or lying. I'm going to give my opinion. I don't believe him, quite frankly. I don't believe, I have cards in auctions, maybe not as many as him, maybe not as expensive as him, but regardless of that fact, I've never bid on my item by mistake. And if I'm bidding on items, I know they're not mine, right? And so I don't care how many auctions you have. I don't care how many listings you have. Quite frankly, I don't buy that. And, again, only he knows for sure. But let's start off there that I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid on hey, I didn't realize what I was doing. My bad. I'm sorry. And if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. But I'm not buying what he's selling there. And further on, I'm going to paraphrase. Go check out Dr. Jim's show. Not just those 2 episodes, but the whole catalog. They're great. You can learn a lot of stuff. Even an old dog like me learns a lot from listening to Dr. Jim and or his guests. And, to paraphrase the two episodes, right, it became where they started talking about shill bidding and sort of condoning it, and that it happens. A term was used, which I've heard before, even before Dr. Jim's show, defensive shill bidding to hopefully get your price rather than set like a reserve price, which people kind of frown upon or don't like, or ignore those type auctions. It's a way to circumvent that sort of thing. And both gentlemen sort of condoned it. Not sort of, I think it was condoned. And that's where I get off at a different exit. It's not my thing. And I think it's illegal. I'll go strong with this. I think it's an illegal tactic. I think it's sort of like insider trading on Wall Street, where you let someone else know some info that's not public and you gain a monetary advantage to it, whether it's buying something cheap that's about to go up or selling something that's about to crash down, and you sort of get that inside ahead of schedule info, right? I put it in that same sort of category, and some may not agree, and that's fine. That's that's your opinion, but that's mine. I think it's wrong. I think it costs people money out of their wallets. And I don't care whether you're a billionaire, a millionaire, or a middle-class guy or person, right? If it's costing you more money, it's not right. We have laws against price fixing in government with, obviously necessities, and sometimes with pharmaceuticals and food sources and that sort of thing, when there's a sort of something not right to keep a price too high. I think this fits kind of into that vein, that category. And you list a card for auction, and that's it, right? Let the buyers set the price, not you. And I'll go far, you definitely should not be bidding on your own stuff. Now, if your buddy really, really wants your card, and they're bidding on it for them to buy it, like, I can't argue that point. But if they're bidding because in a conversation you say, hey man, this card's not where I need it to be at, or it's too low, do me a favor, here's the link, and bid on it, bid it up to this level. I think someone will come over the top with you, and you're just sort of driving it up there. And again, in that case, to me, that's artificial. It's disingenuous. It's not legitimate. And I can't condone it. And I don't partake in it. And I'll share a couple personal stories. You can think what you want. I'm going to be honest about it. And you can think what you want of me, less of me, more of me. That's up to you, not my call, right? But I've been in the hobby 40 years. I've done shows for 37 years. I did my first show at 15. Now, auctions are obviously more prevalent now than many years ago. But eBay's been around since the mid-90s, early 90s. And, I've been asked on more than one occasion from acquaintances and friends that are in the hobby, hey, John, need a favor. I got an auction ending in the next couple days. Can you, it's kind of low right now. Can you throw a bid on it? And, they didn't like my answer when the few times I was asked to partake in that. I said, no, I really don't want to do that. Or I'll be honest with you, I'll ask what card it is or what item it is. Now, if I have an interest, I will tell them, like, I will bid what I would pay for it myself, and no nothing less and nothing more. So I've probably been asked 5, 6, 7 times to do such a deed, and I've probably only done it on 2 or 3 occasions. But those 2 or 3 occasions were because I wanted the item myself, and so I bid a legitimate bid to try to win that card or lot where I wanted the item, not to drive the price up to cost somebody else more money. And then on one of those occasions, if my memory serves me correctly, I did win the item. And, the person I knew was a little disappointed, didn't go for more. Obviously, they honored the sale, and it was saved because they were local, so they didn't have to pay shipping to deliver it to me. And so that was a perk, but they didn't get necessarily what they wanted. But on probably the other 4 or 5 occasions, if I did not have any interest in that particular item, I declined, to partake in that. I said, I don't have an interest in the item, and I don't want to do that. It's kind of against my morals and what I believe in to do, to just bid on something to cost somebody else some more money. So I did not do it. And they're like, really? This is them to me, like, really? What, are you mad at me? I'm like, has nothing to do with you. I just don't want to get involved in that. Just goes against my fabric and what I believe in. And, you do what you got to do, but I'm not going to do that. And again, I said in the intro, right? I'm a person who's listed cards on auctions. I've never I'm being honest here, I've never once asked someone to bid on an item for me. Now, I've posted an item. I've posted a link like publicly on my social media. Hey, check out this item I have on the auction block, right? For anyone who's interested or wants to bid. But I've never purposely emailed, called, in person, private messaged someone and said, hey, do me a solid here and bump this up. Any bumping up was from legitimate bids. And maybe I'm naive. Maybe I'm a fuddy-duddy, whatever term you want to put it on, but I believe like real buyers set the price, not artificial buyers. And I'm going to, when my head hits the pillow at night, for me, I got to feel like I did the right thing that day and subsequent days. And, is it, having someone bid on your item doesn't make you, Charlie Manson or Adolf Hitler, right? But it's not me. It's not something I partake in. I don't condone. I believe it to be illegal tactics, deceitful maneuvers, if you will. I do. And again, you might have a different opinion. You might have the same opinion. Maybe you're even stronger than me that, things should be done, people should get in real trouble and do jail time. We've seen this with other incidents in the past where, people have been sentenced. Now, there's other tentacles to that story as well. But, I wanted to weigh in on why I don't like it, why I don't do it, rather than just say I don't like it, right? Why does it happen? I think that's a simple and easy answer, right? So someone gets more money. And again, that doesn't make them a bad person. We all want the most money, right? Our boss gives us a raise. We don't say, thank you, but no thank you, right? We get a tip. Maybe we say like, you don't have to do that, but we appreciate it, right? Anytime we can get more money, right? That's a plus, right? That's how we pay our bills. That's how we keep moving forward. As a dealer, when I do a show, right? I want to have the best show I can have and do the best I can do. And I don't apologize for that. No one else should either. But I just try to do it the right way. So why does it happen? It's simple, right? People want more money for their cards. And I get it, but I believe in doing it the right ways. So we can talk about the problem, right? We're all talking about the problem, or a lot of us are talking about the problem. What are the solutions, right? Well, the simple fix is hopefully having the moral standard not to do it. And if that's bold of me to say, then I'll say it. But I just choose not to do it because I don't think it's morally and ethically right. And I'm sure a lot of people maybe take up the same banner and don't partake in it, right? But anytime there's money involved, right, especially in the hobby, but it's not just relegated to the hobby, stock market, any kind of other business or selling entity or other hobby, right? Anytime there's money involved, people are going to find ways to circumvent, whether it's illegal, towing that line of illegal, like maybe some people consider shill bidding, people are going to do it. Whether it's stealing, forgery, fake slabs, fake cards, trimming, altering, shill bidding. If there's money to be made, someone's going to try it. So it's not going to go away on its own accord. People aren't going to wake up one day who are doing it. Maybe some will, but I don't think majority will wake up and say, I'm not doing this anymore. It really probably shouldn't be doing it. So it's not going to go away like that. So what are the solutions past that, right? Past it healing itself? Well, the onus falls on these auction houses and selling platforms. And some of them probably do, but not all of them for sure, because this is an ongoing issue. The auction house has to set rules. You cannot bid on your own stuff. And I think they got to go further than that. They need to track that stuff, whether it's through IP addresses. I'm not an IT guy, but there's got to be ways you can tell when someone's not placing legitimate bids. You notice a trend. Why is this same guy bidding on all of this same person's, or, why is this same person bidding on this other person's, all their auctions constantly? Seems pretty consistent. It's just a red flag, right? There's ways to figure this out, right? To eliminate friends or acquaintances, hopefully, from doing it. But even past the point of protocols, right? It's got to be more than that. There's got to be penalties, right? If you are caught crossing this line or breaking this rule or bidding on your own items, just to drive the price. If you're caught or we flag you for doing that, there's a penalty. What's that penalty? You can never partake in our auction. Your IP address is banned. We posted publicly that this is something you did. Whatever those penalties and issues are, right? Or whatever the repercussions are, right? There's got to be repercussions. Otherwise, nothing changes, right? Some people don't commit crimes because they don't want to do the time. Others don't care and they still do it anyway and take the chances that they won't get caught. But the penalties, punishments are deterrents. And so we need punishments and rules and protocols from these auction houses, and what can we do? We feel like an auction house is just making it like the Wild Wild West, or I say auction house, but let's include selling platforms in there as well that run auctions, right? Not every, you can have auctions and not be an auction house, but what can you do if you feel like a selling platform or auction house does not have rules to prevent that, or recommend not doing that? Dig your heels and say, I'm not going to do business. I'm not going to bid and do business with that platform. We can do that, right? I've done that with other entities for different reasons, right? We have the power with our wallets and bank accounts, if we so choose, to wield that wand of power. Many of us don't. I try to in certain, circumstances and situations. So we can initiate change, right, by our actions. We can initiate change by being someone who doesn't partake in that activity, even though we know it's going on, if we feel it's wrong. And that's where I fall. I fall into that category. I don't partake in it. I don't condone it. I don't think it's right. And I don't do it. And so that's me. Again, and I just want to close with this too. I'm not trying to be an apologist or defend it. We're all entitled to our opinion. I still love Dr. Jim. Well, we might fall on separate, sides of the aisle here. I think he's a great guy, who's a hobby icon. I don't agree with him on this subject and topic. And, shameless plug, he's going to be on Hobby Hotline on November 22nd. And I know this is going to be addressed, and he'll expand about it a lot. But no matter what he says on that episode, short of, hey, I changed my mind, or, I don't believe in shill bidding. I think it's wrong. I think it should be illegal. I think it should be frowned upon. But I don't think, I think his body of work is too great to take one thing we disagree on and judge someone on one line item, right? So we get off at different exits, but I still think Dr. Jim is great. And if you think less of me for that, then so be it. But I think that's enough on shill bidding. We covered it. I wanted to weigh in. There's my more than 2 cents. And I appreciate your time, and thanks for listening. And enjoy the hobby and do it the right way. All right. Thank you for listening to another episode of Hobby Quick Hits. Want to give out our social media, starting with our website, which is www.sportscardnationpodcast.com. Facebook, you can follow us at www.facebook.com/sportscardnationpodcast/ Twitter, we are at sportscardnat1, so it's sportscard NATI1. Instagram at sportscardnationpodcast, or you can email the show hobbyquickhits@gmail.com. Again, thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.